Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. We are very excited. We have the Lieutenant Governor here, Leslie Munger, and she'll be introducing some of our folks that are here. But I wanted to let our guests know who else is in the room. We have students, of course. Many of them have gone through Fusion program. So you guys have gone through the Fusion program at some time in your career. Great. We have faculty members around. And we have professional field services staff, so they're here. And I certainly don't usually dress like this, and they could attest to this. But I was told to represent Fusion, and so here I am. I just want to say a word, and that the International Student Science Fair is actually a Bicentennial event that will happen in June. Part of the Bicentennial commitment was to create a legacy project. And so I thought that, as I was thinking about this, it's really interesting, right? So the Bicentennial is a celebration of the past, but the legacy project is a forward-looking kind of event. It's a legacy for the future, because we're creating an interest and a desire within our faculty and our students to love inquiry, to love math and science, to love technology, to love innovation. And so we're really excited that we're part of this, and that the Bicentennial Commission chose IMSA and IMSA Fusion as an opportunity to look forward, not just celebrate the past. With that, please help me welcome, a warm welcome from IMSA to Leslie Munger, the Deputy Governor.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am very excited to be here today on behalf of the Illinois Bicentennial team, and in particular our Executive Director, Stuart Lane, who is actually downstate somewhere today on another Bicentennial event, so we're dividing our duties today. I'm very, very excited to be here to help us kick off the STEM Fusion program that is one of the, as you just heard, legacy projects of the Illinois Bicentennial. We kicked off our 200th year in December of this past year. Illinois turns 200 on December 3rd, 2018, this December. And so throughout this year, throughout these 12 months, we have many, many things going on, events going on all over the state that will help us celebrate our rich history, help us be proud, inspire us to be proud of everything in Illinois that has been born, built, and grown over our last 200 years, the many accomplishments, the many things that Illinois has brought to not only the area but to the nation. And importantly, as you just heard, to leave a lasting legacy and to really put us on a good path for the future. And so that's really what we're here to talk about today. This is what the STEM program is intended to do. As you will hear in a few moments, more about the details. But really, this is one of the forward-looking projects, is to develop the interests and skills in our children that will prepare them for the future, that will prepare them for the jobs of the future, that will help propel our state forward in business, in science, in technology, et cetera. Importantly, as we do these bicentennial projects, there are no taxpayer funds that are going to fund any of these things. We really rely greatly on very, very generous corporate sponsors for everything that we are doing. And so today I'd like to just thank overall our two presenting sponsors of this program, Abbott and Wintrust, funding generous amounts of money to make sure this program goes forward, and additional sponsor help from Boeing, Ingredion, and Takeda. You heard Dr. Torres mention the International Student Science Fair that's coming up. Motorola has generously is helping to fund that as well. So none of this would be possible without our generous sponsors. And while I am thanking our various groups, I'd like to actually give a shout out to the Illinois Chamber Foundation, which is acting as our bank of the Bicentennial for us. We cannot accept donated funds into the state. We had to have a partner help us with that, and the Illinois Chamber has really, working through their foundation, is accepting donations from corporations and from some of the trailblazers in Illinois, helps raise the money that brings that, helps us fund all these things that we're doing. So Really grateful to be here, excited about this program. This is one of the most exciting projects we have. This is a multi-year effort that will help students all around the state in areas that are challenged in many, many schools to provide opportunities for students that might not otherwise have that. And so to tell you a little bit more about that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Robinson, who is here. He's from IMSA, and he's the Executive Director of Professional Field Services. And he will tell you more about the program and how we're going to get it kicked off. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are really excited to be a part of this project. We look at it as a great opportunity to really provide something for the students of Illinois. IMSA Fusion is a program that promotes excellence in mathematics and science in areas of teaching and learning in Illinois. Fusion is both a STEM enrichment program for students as well as a professional development experience for teachers. One of the goals for Fusion is to provide access and opportunity to these STEM experiences for all students. Therefore, we actually place an emphasis on students in schools who are underrepresented and historically marginalized. Fusion is designed and focused for upper elementary, 4th through 5th grade, and for middle grade, 6th through 8th grade. The learning activities are designed to motivate, interest, and engage students in STEM disciplines to develop those critical thinking skills, those analysis skills, and motivate the students to create new knowledge in areas not limited to, but in certain concepts like aeronautics, human space flight, agriculture, those really interesting concepts. To create this learning environment, Fusion provides professional learning experiences for teachers as well to enhance their instructional toolkit with strategies to help them in areas like problem-based learning, hands-on, competency-driven instruction, areas of that nature. The Illinois Bicentennial Project, which was selected by the Illinois Bicentennial Commission, will be providing a legacy gift to fully fund the IMSA Fusion program in 25 schools. Now, there's a 5-member selection committee that was selected by the Illinois Bicentennial Commission, and I just want to give you their names. The committee includes Emily Bastido, Special Advisor for the Governor Office of Secretary of Education, Karen Pitts, Vice President of Undergraduate Education, University of Illinois, Ross Hemphill, Board Member of the IMSA Fund for Advancement for Education, Jenna Doherty, Divisional Vice President of Global Social Responsibility for Abbott, and Susanna Mason, Vice President of Marketing for Wintrust. Now, schools that are interested in applying must represent underrepresented populations, either rural or Title I schools. They will need to have a plan on how they will implement Fusion during the day as an embedded program, and also they must have a plan to how they're going to continue Fusion after the 3 years of funding expires. The application, wait for it, opens today, all right, and it will be open until April 13th. We will notify schools hopefully by May 18th. We look forward to this opportunity. I think it's going to be a great effort where we can actually help students realize their dreams and become the best that they can be. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce to you Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.
Hello, so excited to be with all of you here today. Yeah, you could tell I'm just a little bit short, right? I stopped at the 4th grade. So, as our future entrepreneurs, try to get a solution to that one. I'm here as your Lieutenant Governor, and I'm so proud of all of you and just so proud of all of these efforts that we're able to unveil today. I want to first thank IMSA, the Illinois Math and Science Academy, as well as my good friend, Presidente Dr. Jose Torres. Doesn't that sound nice in Spanish? Just rolls off the tongue. I also want to thank the governor's Bicentennial and education teams for all of their hard work in launching the STEM Fusion program in partnership with IMSA throughout the entire state of Illinois. When Governor Rauner and I first took office, we agreed that expanding education and opportunity throughout all 102 counties and to all of our children was very important. It was actually in the front burner and still is till today. As a member of the Illinois School Funding Commission, I was very proud to work alongside other members that understood that it's all about access and opportunity. And during the time that I served in the Illinois School Funding Commission, we realized that it was a big issue to make sure that all children in Illinois were treated equitably and fairly, to level that playing field. And I was very proud that at the close of the year, we were able to have true school funding reform in a way that's equitable and fair for everyone. But our work does not stop there. I also have had the privilege to serve as chair of the Governor's Rural Affairs Council. And in that capacity, I learned that a lot of schools in our rural communities were underserved as well. Namely, they were telling us that the kids, because of connectivity, did not have good connections to systems where they could learn more. You imagine? And they also complained about access to advanced placement courses. They indicated that a lot of times in your bigger cities, children were able to have access to advanced placement courses that actually made it more competitive for them when they started college. You know, they had one foot in the door by having these advanced placement classes. But a lot of schools in our rural communities simply didn't have that. As chair of the Governor's Rural Affairs Council, I was very proud to launch a pilot project that helped our rural schools. So in conjunction with Illinois Virtual Schools, we were able to launch that about 2 months ago. And we were working with 10 rural schools, 75 students, and let me tell you, they couldn't be more proud. Again, it's all about equity and fairness for all. So today, we're actually talking about the Bicentennial STEM Fusion announcement, and I couldn't be more proud. I couldn't be more proud. You know, going forward, this is something that has always been very personal to me. A lot of people don't know my personal story, but it was an educational opportunity that allowed me to become your first Latina lieutenant governor in the entire country. But my beginnings were a lot like the beginnings of children in underserved communities that are looking for these very opportunities today. My mother was a refugee from Cuba, and my dad an immigrant from Ecuador. And I was born in Hialeah, a small community off of Miami, Florida. Access and opportunity in these neighborhoods were hard to come by. Actually, I never came by those opportunities growing up. With Spanish as my first language, I was sure to fail the first grade. And my outlook on education was not good. I was disinterested and uninspired in my schools, and I felt like my schools were disinterested and uninspired with me. But later in life, after having failed the first grade, my mother always told me that in this country, puedes subir como la espuma. You could rise like the foam. And so because of that, later on in life, an educational opportunity did present itself. And it was in the way of a magnet school. And they told all children in Florida that if you had talent and you had that fire in your belly, your first 2 years of college were free. And I was scared, but I gave it a try, and I made it in. And you know what? That opened the doors for me. And today's unveiling of today's program will open doors for so many children like me to become our future entrepreneurs, our future educators. So I couldn't be prouder because we are making history and we are making a legacy. So let's continue working together, and Illinois will continue to be the greatest state. Thank you so much.